we're better equipped to tackle the challenges that we will face. At the start of the school year, I had a vision for making this Senate a place where the best of the best in terms of student leaders come together to tackle the issues we all face. I even joked that by next term, we need a new table and chair set in our Senate chambers to accommodate all the new senators. Well, it turns out I did not dream big enough, because we didn't just need a new table and chairs, we needed a whole new room. So, and not just for next term, for this term. I'm very excited to see that. I'm very happy you are all here today. A few weeks ago, for those of you who are joining us, I introduced a 100-day agenda developed with Vice President Souza. The first priority on that list was growing this organization. We can now confidently check that off the Kaufman-Souza agenda. This agenda was my way to focus on two key themes that I want to highlight to all of you today. These are unity and strength. This Senate should be a unifying force on our campus, bringing people together to address the issues and have difficult conversations. That means collaborating not just with students, but with staff, administration, and faculty to create meaningful change for our entire community. Along with that, I said that Western New England students have heard the message of hope for far too long. It's time to move beyond that message and show a message of strength through our actions. That's why we put forward a 100-day agenda. And now with a larger and more energized Senate, we are better positioned to pursue every item of that agenda and so much more. Before we dive into what's ahead, I want each of you to start thinking about what you want to achieve in your roles. What changes do you want to make? How will you help improve our community? What impact will you make in the Senate for the students who will undoubtedly walk in your shoes years from now? And most importantly, how can you best serve the students that we all represent together? As the leader of the Senate, I want you all to bring your ideas to this table. The Senate is a place for boldness, so be bold. Let's talk, let's debate, and turn our best ideas into actions that we take together. Thank you all, and let's get started with the second half of the 2024-2025 term. So now I just want to take the opportunity. This is probably going to be like the least formal meeting that we're ever going to have, but we're just going to go around the table and just introduce ourselves. Say your name, your position, your major, and class year. I know for you guys, class year is kind of in your position, but still. But we'll do the e-board last because that's part of the training presentation, but just the senators for now. We'll start with our senior class senator, Senator Brown.
So my name is Jacqueline Brown. I am the senior class of 2025 representative here on Senate, and I'm a criminal justice major.
Alrighty. My name is Kayla Hunt. I am a class of 2025. I'm a computer engineer, and I am also a class of 2025 representative.
Hello, I am Autumn Bissonette. I am class of 2026, and I am a mechanical engineering major, and I serve as representative of the class of 2026.
Hey everyone, my name is Kaylee Godek. I am graduating in the class of 2026. I am a sports management major, and I'm also one of the class of 26 representatives.
I'm Becca Kilday. I am class of 2027, and I'm an industrial engineering major, and I am representing the class of 2027.
I'm Emma Stearns. I'm a criminal justice major, and I'm the class of 2020 representative.
Hi, I'm Aubrey, and I'm a freshman. I'm one of the senator antlers, and I'm economics major.
Hi, I'm Brianna Thurston. I'm a freshman political science major, and I'm representing the College of Arts and Sciences.
Hi, my name is Natalia Miller. I'm a neuroscience major, and I'm class of 2028 representative.
Hello, I'm Elina Shahmarat Mohandu. I am computer science major, and I'm representative for College of Arts and Sciences.
Hi, I'm Chris Brown. I'm a junior creative writing major, and I am representing the arts and sciences.
I'm Will McKiernan. I'm class 2027, law and society major, and I'm a representative of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Hi, I'm Emily Day. I am a double major in business and political science with a minor in international business. I'm class of 2027, and I represent the College of Business.
Hi, I'm Lexi Piacenza. I'm a sophomore finance and accounting major representing the College of Business.
Hi, I'm Megan Lemieux. I'm class of 2027. I'm a civil engineering major, and I'm representing the College of Engineering.
Hi, I'm Jillian Silver. I'm class of 2027. I'm a mechanical engineering major and I'm also representing for College of Engineering.
Hi, I'm Gwen Scorpa. I'm one of the representatives for the College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, and I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Haley Bronson. I'm in the class of 2026. I'm a neuroscience major and I'm also a representative for the College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences.
I'm Timothy Amsden. I'm class of 2026, finance and accounting major, and I'm a resident representative.
I'm Brett Lucier, history secondary ed major, class of 2027, and I'm a representative for residents.
My name is Baker. I'm a law society major, class of 2025, and I'm a resident representative.
I'm Hudson Gilmartin. I'm a senior mechanical engineer, and I'm a residential representative.
I'm Julia Moyer. I'm part of the class of 2026. I'm a law and society major, and I'm representing athletics.
Hi, my name is Linda. I am class of 2027. I am a criminal justice major and I'm an athletic rep.
Hi, my name is Kaveh. I'm a sophomore and I'm in for the Senate at Large.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Short. I'm a freshman, finance accounting major, and I'm representing the Senators at Large.
My name is Maya Lipscomb. I'm a free share business analytics major, and I'm a senator at large.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for taking the time to run and become part of our campus's student government. Like I said, I'm very, very excited to have all of you. I think that this is a very, very diverse group. We bring a lot of opinions to the table. So I'm very, very excited to see what we are all going to accomplish together going forward. I'm very, very happy that we have a new temporary space too. This is very, very professional and a very, very nice place to be. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the senator training, which I will pull up behind me. And in a few seconds, I'm going to have the e-board introduce themselves. So just give me 1 second while I set that up. And yeah. So welcome to Student Senate 101. Like I said, this is the most informal meeting that we're going to have this year. Typically, our agendas are super packed with business on top of business on top of business that we don't get to all of it. But today, I want to focus on all of you, making sure that all of you know what exactly you're getting into and what exactly we do. We did not get a chance to do this with the entire Senate group in the spring. So on top of that, there might be some things that people who have been here for a while do not know that all of you should know. So this is definitely a much needed. First off, I know we have a technology policy, but I'm going to temporarily waive it and let you all take out your phones and request to join the Senate group meeting if you are not already in it. So go ahead and just scan that QR code. Our Senate group meet is the main form of communication for membership of the Senate outside of general meetings. So make sure you're checking it regularly. We typically try our best not to post things that aren't important in there. I will post when the agendas are up for our meetings on Kodiak. If there's any big things that I need your guys' opinions on throughout the week when we're not meeting, I might ask in there. But that's what that's mainly used for. If you guys want to use it to just have conversations, collaborate on stuff, put other ideas out there too, that's totally fine as well. Please also use it to help build camaraderie and celebrate each other. If someone accomplishes something big, not just in Senate, but outside of it, please share it. Put it in there. Let's celebrate each other. We're all a part of this organization together. We are one Senate family. So yeah. Does anyone else need to scan that still? No? Okay. So what do? We voice student concerns in a formal and professional manner, address and solve issues on behalf of the student body, enhance campus quality of life, allocate the student activities fee revenue fairly, charter clubs and organizations across our campus, and assist club leadership in executing their duties. That's a lot. There's a lot of responsibilities there. A lot of those things we will do in Senate meetings, and a lot of them we will not do. A lot of them are committee work and mainly the responsibilities of the committee chairs. But we will get into all that. If you have any specific questions while I'm going through this, please feel free to raise your hand and we can definitely talk more about it. But what have you missed for you new senators? Like I said, Kaufman Souza 100-day agenda. Vice President Souza and I sat down going into the school year and came up with 9 big ideas of things that we want to look at going forward. Some things are quality of life projects. If you look at campus right now, things like the pavilion, the fire pit behind Wyndham and in front of U Commons, the Adirondack chairs were all Senate-sponsored projects. And we are looking to further invest into our community with things like that. So we had 6 ideas, I believe, that we were looking to invest in. That's obviously one of like the biggest things that we will be talking about and debating during Senate meetings. Outside of that, a lot of things were just like growing the student senate, which I obviously highlighted, and I think we successfully accomplished after last election. Inviting members of our community to talk. We have Lauren Danzero here today to talk about the Governor's Roundtable, so that's another thing that we will be continuing to do. And just being a resource for clubs and organizations, other student leaders to come to and talk about any issues that they might come across, any big ideas. I want to support members of our community. I want to be a Senate that is not closed doors. Yes, it is a little intimidating with Robert's rules. If you guys are a little nervous, that's totally normal. I was nervous when I was in your shoes too. I had no idea what Robert's rules was when I became a senator. I had no idea what motions were. I looked at the agenda. I saw that there were 12 items on it. I was like, I have no idea what any of this is. That's totally fine. It's totally normal. Obviously today there's not 12 items on the agenda, and that was done on purpose. I didn't want to overwhelm you guys, but yeah, constitutional amendments, those were passed going into the election, and because of that, we are now enabled to have 4 senator at-larges, which we have, and then up to 4 athletic reps, which we have 2, but now there could be another 2 joining us after the next election too. So that's definitely very exciting, and that was a big change. Passage of club budgets. Treasurer Peralt could probably speak on this a little bit more, but we passed the majority of our club and organization budgets already, which is very, very exciting. Typically in the fall, Senate is spending hours talking about budgets, but we did them all over the summer in a special meeting and then the last meeting of the school year last year. So now that opens up a lot more time for us to talk about bigger projects, other ideas, and how we can support the people that we all represent. Discussion around general university requirements. This is still going on. If you have any feedback on GURs, please reach out to me. There's a form in the Senate GroupMe. When you all are accepted into it, I ask that you do fill it out. I know there are certain circumstances where some people like have AP credits that cover most GURs, but all students will most likely have to take at least 1 GUR. So please, like, it's not a requirement that you fill out that form, but if you fill out that form, it definitely helps the e-board and anyone else who's meeting with Professor Mazar and Faculty Senate about general university requirements. So please do that. And then appointment of the entire executive board. We had a leadership turnover over the summer, and I had the opportunity to appoint everyone right in front of you to their positions. So that was probably the biggest order of business besides the 100-day agenda and budgets and amendments that have happened so far. Speaking of them, this is your Student Senate Executive Board. Obviously, you're hearing me talk a lot, but I'm going to pass the floor off to Vice President Souza to go ahead and introduce yourself to you all.
Hi, I'm Michaela Souza. I'm a senior political science major, and I'm the vice president.
Chairperson Amaya.
My name is Blanca Amaya. I'm a criminal justice major, class of 2027, and I am the legislative chairperson.
Chairperson Pearl.
My name is Noel Pearl. I'm a senior business analytics and information management major, and I am the treasurer and finance committee chair of Student Senate.
Chairperson Cloutier.
Hi, my name is Jess Cloutier. I'm class of 2027, and I'm the campus relations chairperson of Student Senate.
Chairperson Greenwood.
Hi, I'm Catherine Greenwood. I'm your public relations chair, and I am a marketing communications and advertising major.
And secretary.
I'm Dom Langello. I'm the 2027 communication media journalism major, and I'm the student senate secretary.
All of our contact information will hopefully be up on the Kodiak soon. That way, if you guys ever feel the need to reach out to us directly, our phone numbers will hopefully be up there for you to just text. Especially in the case of emergencies or something like that, or like you have a big plan that falls directly into one of our roles that you would like us to support. Also, we're definitely the main resources for you as senators in terms of student senate operations and logistics. So please feel free to reach out to us if you ever feel the need to do so. Going into that, student senate standing committees. So we have committees. Our organization is run basically by these committees. Anyone with chairperson in their title runs a committee. So Chairperson Peralt, Chairperson Amaya, Chairperson Cloutier, and Chairperson Greenwood all run one of these committees up here. Obviously, finances. Noah's, legislative is Blanca's, public relations is Catherine's, and campus relations is Jess's. So we're gonna go into what exactly all those do. They're not, especially PR and CR, they're not necessarily self-explanatory, but finance is overseeing financial logistics and stuff. So finance, starting with them, responsible for fair allocation of the student activities fee revenue. So recommendations to how much money we should be funding a club come from Chairperson Peralt and the Finance Committee, and any other financial operations fall under their responsibilities. Conducts audits and budget allocation hearings, so that's probably like outside of Senate work and stuff that you guys would be doing or tasked with getting done. Recommends allocations or reclamations based on findings from those hearings. So if there's a audit and a group went significantly under budget, we can now make a motion to reclaim part of their budget and take that back and push it towards a different project or a different group that will actually be using it. Or for their initial allocations or additional allocations, you have a hearing with Treasurer Peralt and any other available member of the Finance Committee. And together he'll come up with a recommendation of what he believes is fair to allocate to those groups. Do you have anything else to add to what exactly you guys do?
No, I think it was pretty good.
Okay. I would hope it was pretty good. I started on his committee. So legislative committee. So address constitutional questions and issues on the Senate floor, drafts constitutions and secures Senate approval for new clubs and organizations, monitors compliance with rules, violations may lead to consequences. So this is the group that's chartering all the organizations. As I said, any new ones that get created have to go through the legislative process with Chairperson Amaya. Rule violations, when it's financial, typically it will either be done conjointly between the two chairpersons and their two committees, or typically just the Finance Committee. These rule violations, the ones that we typically see, are more so like people are adding stuff to their constitutions, adding like 12 e-board positions when they have a membership of 14 members, which is not a good thing. But things like that, what they're monitoring for, and then doing the groundwork in terms of documentation, meeting with people about their club ideas after they finish the process with student involvement and connections, and just making those come to fruition to Senate, and also supporting them a little bit after they're approved, checking in with them. That's a huge part of what they do too. And then also constitutional questions, if there's like, these happen like a lot, it's typically obscure, but like if there's ever something that like might conflict with our constitution that we're trying to do, it's up to Chairperson Amaya to give her interpretation of it. That's her like main power, if you will, or like main responsibility with the legislative committee. So that's the things that you guys would be tackling. Blanca, do you have anything to add to that?
That was great.
Public Relations Committee. So they oversee outreach and marketing for the Student Senate, organize events to promote the Senate and community members, and run the Senate social media accounts. This could be things like the public safety meet and greets, stuff for Cruiser. We're thinking about partnering with CARE on stuff, but like also working together with other clubs and organizations, maintaining the image of Student Senate, but also running social media accounts. I know you're new to eBoard, but if you would like to add anything onto what you guys would like to do or what you have planned for your committee.
That was really great. We are doing a bulletin board downstairs in the campus center, and make sure you're all following the Student Senate Instagram. So yeah.
But yeah, that's the Public Relations Committee. Campus Relations Committee handles formal and informal grievances presented to the Student Senate, investigates and proposes large-scale investments to enhance campus quality of life, connects members of the community together to solve issues. So grievance response, getting people connected, and then also looking into those big projects like the Adirondack chairs or the fire pits and stuff like that are all under this committee. Do you have anything you want to add to that? Not yet. Yeah, so that's mainly their responsibility. These are the 4 standing committees of Student Senate. All of you will be assigned to one of them. We will ask for your preferences too. We'll have you rank based off of that. If you have any questions or you want to know what the plans are and stuff like that, that would be a good reason to reach out to one of the chair people and talk with them and see what exactly they're doing and see if it piques your interest. Do we have any questions about those? I know I kind of just breezed through all of that. Okay. Yes.
Do you have access to this later?
Yes. All of you will be added to the Kodiak after, for all of you new senators. You'll be added to our Student Senate Kodiak. All of the resources, everything that's ever presented at our meetings are all on there. Yeah. Next is a rules package. So most groups, as Chairperson Amaya would tell you, have bylaws in their constitution. Bylaws are typically a lot more flexible and easier to change. For us, we have a rules package, which goes in line with the House of Representatives for our actual government. So this is implemented at the start of the term. It's already been passed. The whole rules package will be up on Kodiak. I'm not going to go through all 30 pages with you guys because there's a lot of logistical rules and a lot of things that really e-board needs to follow. There are rules that senators need to follow too, which I will go over with all of you, and all of us need to follow collectively too. But a lot of them regulate our actions as executives and also as a Senate to make sure that we're not overbearing to clubs and organizations and to make sure that we're not breaking any rules. I'm giving you guys enough notice on information that we're talking about, stuff like that. So implemented at the start of the term, established binding rules for all senators. All senators can propose amendments to the rules. That's why it's binding. You can propose an amendment to it at any time. It just requires a simple majority vote to pass. If you don't like one specific section to it, you can make a motion at literally any. You can make it literally right now. You can raise your hand and say it. Motion to amend the rules package to state the following. You can do it. That's why it's binding. All of you have an opportunity to say that you don't like the rules. So instead of doing a formalized contract like they did in years past when we revised our constitution, we went with this model instead. Violations of the rules may result in disciplinary actions. So what are the key rules for Senate, you might ask? Attendance policy, 24-hour notice required for non-emergencies. If you do not have an emergency thing that comes up right before the meeting, you need to reach out to myself and Secretary Langella, and also you can also reach out to VP Souza as well and let us know 24 hours in advance that you can't be there, or else it won't be an excused absence. So please, please, please reach out to us in advance. Attendance violations and dismissals cannot be appealed. This was something in the rules package too that you should know about. If you are not showing up and you get dismissed from your role because you're not showing up to Senate and not communicating to that to us, unlike any other rule violation where you would have a hearing with the e-board, this is unappealable. If you're not showing up to do your job, then you can't hold your seat anymore. You're doing a disservice to the students of the university. 2 illegal absences may lead to removal. Again, to avoid that, like, just communicate with us. Illegal absences, there's like a very, very like in-depth definition of how you could hit that mark between tardies and actually not being here. In the rules package, if you want to look that over, feel free, but it basically says, I believe, in VP Souza, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong. 4 tardies is equivalent to 2 absences. So if you're tardy 4 meetings throughout the term and you don't, and that's another thing, you can reach out to us as to why you're tardy and get an excuse for being tardy as well. But if you're tardy 4 times, you don't reach out to us, you don't talk to us, and that happens 4 times, you can get removed. Yeah.
Leaving a meeting early without communicating also counts as a tardy because you're not there for the entire meeting, just so you're aware.
Yeah, and then also this is something too that we ran into a lot last term was failing to submit monthly reports counts as an attendance violation. Last term we did it bi-weekly. This term it's monthly, so there should be no excuse for people to say nothing to report or to just not turn in a document whatsoever on the Kodiak. Reports are basically just a bullet-pointed list of things from your constituency that you want other people to know about. It doesn't need to be crazy in depth unless it's something that is a very, very big issue. You can put my reports as a commuter representative. When I started, I was talking about the speed bumps behind the rift. Like, it doesn't need to be the most serious issues. It could just be things that are affecting your individual's constituency. So please make sure that you are doing those. Report meetings happen the first week of every month. So the first week of every month, we are going to have a report-based meeting where we are literally just going to go through everyone's reports and talk about them. And we'll go into reports a little bit later too. Committee attendance policy. Your committees meet at the discretion of each chairperson. They're allowed to structure that however they want. I think that helps with efficiency in getting their jobs done. So they will talk to you about how that will be done. Notice must be given if you cannot attend and a meeting is called. Most committees' decisions typically are made over text and are very informal. So please don't, like when I was talking about committees and stuff earlier, please don't think that I'm sending you out of Senate every week with a ton of homework. All the senators from the term so far and all the members of the executive board will tell you the exact opposite. If you are ever getting overwhelmed by committee work, tell your chairperson. Take a step back. You don't need to be that. We're all here to handle like the majority of the logistics and operations with that. You're here to vote on your constituency. That's just another part of Senate operations that you're helping out with. So please don't ever like get overburdened with that. Just communicate. And then what is brought to the Senate table is at the discretion of your committee chairperson. So if like you guys waste 2 hours talking about something, don't expect it to be brought up. But if you also spend a lot of time talking about something that your chairperson disagrees with, or like your committee's split on it, it's ultimately at their discretion if they want that on the agenda under their committee reports and to talk about it. That doesn't mean you guys can't bring it up. We always have time for senators' comments. You guys can make a motion at literally any time, but ultimately what is put towards the table and what has priority comes from them. So please keep that in mind whenever you meet with them, and if there are ever any big issues that come up and you guys have to debate about them in committee. Attire policy, business casual, tops, polos, button-ups, anything else that might fit under that. Bottoms, khakis, black pants, jeans, skirts. If you have any questions about that, you can talk with us. If there's any issues with that, I really don't want to cause any issues with that. This is something that could get docked with the attendance, but at the same time, like you guys are having an issue with like getting the right attire, like I'd rather have you here. Please reach out to us. We'll figure something out in the meantime. But also, if there's like ever an emergency and something comes up and you don't have the opportunity to change, that's another like thing. Reach out to us. You can get excused from that for the week. Like stuff happens. I totally understand. So please keep that in mind, though. If you're showing up every week and you're out of attire, we're not going to be as lenient with that. We try our best to look professional. We're representing others here. We're making executive decisions on behalf of students of the university. So please make sure you are looking your best if possible. Technology policy. Laptops and cell phones are prohibited during General Senate. If you need an exemption for this, please talk with me or VP Souza. You should be able to verbally give your reports. Again, if you need an exemption for that, talk with either one of us. Executives are exempt for a number of reasons. They've been exempt historically, but I listed some of them for you all. Treasurer Peralt should be able to view our budgets during meetings in case you need to make a budgetary decision. Secretary Langella literally needs technology to function. And then Chairperson Amaya should be able to reference any and all constitutions because we don't only talk about the Senate one, we talk about all the club ones as well. Chairperson Greenwood should be able to post what we're doing during our meetings. I can think of an example for Chairperson Flutie, or maybe like 3D models or something like that is something that we're planning to develop. Yeah. Before I get into anything else, are there any questions so far? Again, I don't mean to just breeze through all this at all, but it's very important. Okay. Conflict of interest. This is going to probably come up eventually. I literally thought of it this morning. That's why I put it in here, because I don't want anyone to get impeached over a conflict of interest vote. But if you are an active member of a club, abstain from voting on any matters involving that club. It's that simple. If you don't know, if you attend a club meeting in the past month or are unsure of your status, abstain from voting on that club until after a month, after 30 days is gone through. You can discuss and support clubs you are a part of, but you cannot vote on related business. We'll talk about voting in a little bit, but all you need to know, if you're a part of a club and we're voting on something with them, abstain. Don't say yes, don't say no, abstain. Voting on business related to a club you are a part of can be grounds for impeachment. Depending on the context, we wouldn't just, if that happens on accident, that's totally fine. Voice votes, we don't know for sure, but any like big ticket issues that would ever come up, I don't want to have like a whole Senate meeting where we're talking about someone voted on this one thing on a split decision. And because of that, like it affected everything and it's not professional, it was a conflict of interest. Let's just avoid that if at all possible. Miscellaneous rules. Disruptions during a Senate meeting can result in your dismissal from Student Senate for the day. I will literally slam the gavel, say your position, last name, and say you are dismissed for the day, and everyone will know that you were being dismissed because you were being disruptive. So please don't do that. You need to wait for recognition to talk. So please do that. If you're whispering to the person next to you about something, that's totally fine. But if you're making a statement that you want to be recorded into the minutes and you don't wait for recognition, and you do it more than 3 times, I point of order you, which is basically me just saying like you're out of order. I'd hit the gavel, say your name. After 3 times, you can be dismissed. You will be asked to leave the meeting for the day. There's no other consequences with that if I'm dismissing you. And also on top of that, the other senators can overturn any decision by the chair. So if someone seeks recognition right after that and disagrees with it, or typically in a situation like that, I would ask if there's any objections to it. Someone is able to object and we will literally vote on your dismissal for the day. But please just don't be disruptive and that will never happen. Meetings are required to be open, but we can enter executive session for confidential discussions. Those will come up whenever they come up. It's very, very rare. We did 1 executive session last term. I will be surprised if we do one this term. Rules can be suspended. Obviously, like if there's something in specific that we're suspending it for, we'll make it known why. Halloween, the week of Halloween, we will suspend the attire policy so we can dress up in costumes. So that's an example of that. As I said, the rules package can be amended. Certain votes require a 2/3 supermajority to pass. The only one that I can think of is impeaching the president or vice president right now, but there are other ones in the rules package that do require a 2/3 supermajority to pass. And then speeches must be submitted to the secretary in advance or they will not be put into the minutes. So if you're giving a very, very long speech, or you can submit it to them after, but if you're giving a very, very long speech or you just talk for a very, very long time, I directed Secretary Langella to literally put his hands up and just not type. If you're not giving him the courtesy to give him the 3-page speech that you're about to give to the Senate floor, it's not going to be put in the minutes. That is in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order. If you're not giving the secretary that courtesy, it's not going to be recognized. Everyone here will know what you said, but nobody outside of the meeting will. So that. Reports. Jumping back to that, what makes a good representative report? Talking about the status of your constituency. Recommend investigations, recommend action for us to take, and sparking conversations. That's what we're looking for in representative reports. Again, they don't need to be super duper in depth, but if there's cool things going on in your specific constituency, share them. If there's controversial things going on in your specific constituency, share them. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about that stuff. So please, please like put some effort into these reports. Obviously, like I said, if stuff like this is stressing you out, reach out to us and talk with us about it. But this is the goals that all of you should have for your reports. Example report. I knew this would happen. I don't think you guys in the back are probably seated too well, but this is our last engineering representative report. So reports are broken up into 2 sections. There's general updates, which will have a title and then bullet points, and then comments and concerns, which is just general things and your opinions and stuff like that. So title, like just for an example, propose concentration in aerospace for mechanical engineers. 5 courses to be added to support the program. Jet propulsion lab to be added as one of the 5 labs, or one of the 5. Titles. Civil got rid of concentration. All civil concentrations are looking good and have good enrollment. Just like stuff like that. That's all that needs to be in there. What other cool things on this one? Virtual desktop infrastructure, VDI systems proposes a solution to the lack of computer labs and sleep. And then more information about that, like stuff like that. Report on your constituency. Yeah.
This exact example is on the Kodiak. Like this was screenshotted from Kodiak. There's also a template one that like doesn't have those, but it literally just erased out the words that were there and it's just the bullet points formatted that way. Also in Kodiak. So you have both this and an empty version, and they're to help you out. So there shouldn't be any reason that a report doesn't look like this.
Robert's Rules of Order. This is the guide to our meeting. It dictates how we discuss and vote on items. The president and legislative chairperson are charged with ensuring we follow Robert's rules. So that'd be me and Chairperson Amaya. You don't need to be a Robert's Rules expert to be successful as a senator. I'm pretty sure Chairperson Amaya hasn't even read through the book. I haven't read through the entire book. I've read through part of it, but I have a dummy's guide to it also. A lot of people who chair meetings don't read through this book. You don't need to be an expert on it to know how to make a motion or get your job done as a senator. So voting. This is the big part of Robert's Rules. Voting. So there are 4 main votes that you guys will be able to do in a roll call vote. Roll call is when the secretary, or I'll call for a roll call vote, and then the secretary will read your names one by one. And then the other one that we do a lot is voice voting, which those your names won't be read. We all just aye. All those in favor, aye. All those opposed, no. Those abstaining, aye. Stuff like that. But for roll call voting, though, yes vote, agree with the motion being proposed. No vote, disagree with the motion being proposed. Abstain, choose not to vote on the motion. You're having a neutral stance. Pass, have the roll call come back to you after everyone else has voted. I don't know who is last in the alphabet, but someone cannot pass unless other people have passed too.
Julia Weiner.
So Senator Weiner, sadly you cannot pass. If there's ever a
Technically, it's you that can't pass.
oh well, yeah, that's true. Never mind. I'm the one who can't pass, but yeah. So that's your options whenever we vote on something. Motions. This is your power and how you can get your agenda done. Any senator can make a main motion after receiving recognition from me, the president. Motions are to be done if you want us to vote on something or if you want us to discuss something. If a motion is already being discussed, you cannot make a random motion. Only amendments related to the current motion are allowed. So there is something in our rules package about that. It's called germaneness. If we're talking about building a parking garage on campus, you can't say, I motion to build a residence hall. That has nothing to do with the parking garage that we're actively discussing and debating. It's out of germaneness. It would be point of order. So you can't do that, sadly. So appointed executive board members do not have this power. They make recommendations for the Senate to adopt. So basically, the goal of that is members of the e-board are coming up with plans, and you guys are here to accept or reject those plans, basically. And that's what a recommendation is. They're paid employees of the Senate, besides me and VP Souza. We mainly control the agenda and the rules, so that's a little bit different, but they'll make proposals. If you guys would like to bring those proposals forward, we'll go into how to do that in a second. Motions require a second for another voting member to be discussed and voted upon. Seconds, so seconds don't mean you agree with the motion. It just means that you want to talk about it. All motions need a second to be considered, as I said. Only voting members can second a motion. So they make a recommendation. Their recommendations need a motioning party of Senate. So either me, VP Souza, or any of you senators need to say so moved. That means you're moving it on their behalf. And then someone else needs to second it. So 3 people need to support it if it's an idea that's coming from one of them. If it's an idea that's coming from a senator or me or VP Souza, it's just 2. So that's that. Point of order. You'll hear these hopefully a lot more this term because I feel like I have an understanding to actually pull them out in a Senate meeting. Point of order, mainly used when you're speaking out of turn. Action being motioned upon that would break our rules. So you're motioning that, I don't know, we allocate $1 million out of the student activities fee revenue when we only have about $700,000. Like that out of our rules. There's also rules about how much we can give certain clubs at certain levels too. So points of personal privilege, asking to turn down the temperature in the room, or someone's not talking loud enough. Speakers are making a loud noise. That's when you would do that. These are the same thing as receiving recognition. Just raise your hand if you want to make one of these. Point of inquiry, that it's just a question about anything. You don't necessarily need to use point of inquiry. If you have a question, just raise your hand and ask it. But If you want us to investigate something, do a point of inquiry and then we'll pass it to someone and then we'll report on it at a later meeting. And then point of parliamentary inquiry is a question for the legislative chair because Blanca is our parliamentarian also. So if you make that point and you think something's out of Robert's rules and out of like that domain and you think we're doing something that isn't in accordance with that, Blanca would need to table it and Blanca would need to go look it up and get us a response by the next meeting. And then advice for the future. Resources can be found under the vice president section of the Kodiak. That will probably be your best friend going forward, as well as announcements just for general business and stuff like that. But vice president section has senator resources. Please look at that whenever you get a chance. Say what you want to say and we'll help you with the motions. You don't need to be an expert on that. If you have something you want to say that is valuable to this conversation, please don't be afraid to say it. We'll help direct you. If you want to make a motion, you have no idea how to phrase it, we'll work with you on that. Just say it, get it out there. Ask questions, no matter how stupid they might seem. There are so many times where I hear people say, I don't want to say that, or because we're in public and stuff like that. You guys are all here for a reason. Like I said, it takes a certain level of boldness and respect to get 25 community members to sign that petition and get you onto the ballot. It takes a lot of boldness to run an election. So please ask questions while you're here. That's why you're here. Share your opinions. Again, you're here for a reason. Produce a personal agenda that serves your constituency. I highlighted that a little bit before. Talk with your committee chair frequently. After those are assigned, they're probably going to be your direct contact on eBoard. So again, if you have any questions, talk with them. And then lastly, communication's key. Yeah. Any questions? I don't know why I skipped the last slide. Any questions about anything I went over at all? Okay, good. So now we have the remainder of the meeting to talk about the governor's roundtable. So we will get right into that. So I will allocate 15 minutes to this conversation. And is there someone who wants to start with the floor for it?
I'll start.
Okay, I'll hand the floor
I'll
off to
start.
Lauren.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. It's so nice to be here and thank you for inviting me. I had the pleasure of attending with Haley and Jacqueline and Sarah Budrick, a roundtable event that was put on at the State House on Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. We were joined by other in-person university representatives. Those invited were the Title IX coordinators and also the confidential representative, or representatives, I should say. And also we had students from the university, which were our Haley and Jacqueline were there to represent us. Overall, I feel that we all, after the meeting, were very inspired. It was a very meaningful meeting. It was validating in the fact that our university, as you all have been received some training in Title IX, that we are following everything that the legislature has in place. We are right on track. The only thing, we did have a climate survey which was done last year, the results of which we will need to put out, and that should be forthcoming in the fall, sometime over the next few months, according to Sarah. The meeting was, we had speakers who were from multiple universities and multiple legislative roles, all focused on the importance of Title IX and on campuses. And we also had the pleasure of listening to student representatives from multiple universities as well, who gave us some tremendous insight from your perspective as to what they were facing on their campuses as far as what they feel is most important, things that need to, important points that we may not have thought about otherwise. So it brings me and Sarah and I, and certainly Haley and Jacqueline as well, we came back knowing how important it would be for us to present this to you because we are all affected, and Title IX is very, very important, and it is something that unfortunately we do see misconduct cases on college campuses. As I said, I'm sure you've done your trainings, and we know, all right? So I guess the goal and the motivation from the meeting is to make sure that we as a campus work really hard together as a team to try to make sure that we are making sure that every student and every individual on this campus feels safe and protected, and that we come up with ideas on how we can make sure that we're reaching all students and that all students feel supported. I'll turn it over to Haley and Jacqueline to talk a little bit about what their take was, but and we had some questions that Sarah, we had all written down things about, points that we took from the meeting, as far as that we would like your feedback on and your assistance with, and I'll let them start. I don't know who wants to start first.
Yeah, I can start.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. As mentioned before, my name is Haley. I'm the representative for the College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. So I decided that I wanted to go to this trip to the State House because I myself did not have a lot of knowledge about Title IX. I mean, I know we all have some kind of training, but I felt like I didn't have a general overall understanding. So for anyone that's kind of in that same boat as I am, Title IX is a federal law that protects persons from sexual discriminations regardless of their gender identity and expression. And Massachusetts took a step further because with Title IX, there was a lot of campuses that were kind of sweeping sexual misconduct and allegations under the rug, unless it was like a major scandal, specifically with sports, I realized. So what we did, or not necessarily me, but at the state, a lot of student advocates and the Department of Higher Education worked tirelessly for years to put forth the Massachusetts Campus Sexual Violence Act, which went into effect in 2021. And the goal of that was to mandate campuses to report annually over the course of 4 years on sexual misconduct incidences. So all of the ones that were reported, they have to be put into a database that became public knowledge for us to get a better concept as to what's going on with our campuses and how we can prevent sexual misconduct, and also offer support and resources to those who have been involved in that. So why does this relate to Student Senate? It's important that Student Senate gets across the message that we are here as a community and we want to uplift each other. And as unfortunate as saying that there are sexual misconduct incidents on campuses, it's important that we know those resources and who we can talk to and have friendly faces such as Lauren and Sarah, who unfortunately couldn't be here, just to give us a guiding hand and really know that we have support on campus. So this is important because we currently are in the red zone. I know you guys have probably seen those little red flags across campus, like stuck in the ground and things like that. So that just essentially is a period in time between the start of the fall semester going into Thanksgiving, where in America it's the highest period of sexual misconduct incidents on campus. So what we're trying to do, what we got out of this roundtable talk, what we're trying to bring back to the Senate to support is continuing on with those Senate climate surveys. So we need to find out what's working, how people are getting this information, if enough people are having access to this information. We also are trying to find out if our students trust public safety to go speak with them about incidences or offer support to other people. It's also important to know who our Title IX coordinator is and our confidential resource officer, which is Lauren. And also something that I learned that was really important that I didn't know before was the amnesty policy. So that's just if someone was to be involved in sexual misconduct or harassment or assault, things like that, if you were doing something on campus that related to, say, you were underage drinking, or you were doing something that you necessarily weren't supposed to, it gives you the opportunity to go without the necessarily major consequences that would occur if you were doing that normally. And then, so as Lauren said, we are fully complying with the law that was put forth currently. We did just submit in the spring the climate survey that we already did, which is great. So that information is coming in the fall. And what I'm asking is just to find out the best way for students to learn about these resources and policies. I'm sure a lot of you didn't know the people that are our child development coordinator and the confidential resource officer. So I'm just looking for better ways for us to implement these resources and policies, as well as any kind of events or support that we can offer to the rest of the campus.
So building off of what Haley said, one of the most important things that the student advocates discussed at this roundtable discussion was the success of student-led trainings versus employee or faculty-led trainings. So these student advocates, some of them worked in Res Life, some of them worked in different offices that would support student survivors and those who experience sexual assault and sexual violence. And they found that they had more attendance and greater success with student-led trainings from student leaders rather than faculty-led trainings. So one thing, that we kind of discussed after was how can we get different clubs and organizations and different student leaders involved to put on these trainings and really get the information out there. Lauren and Sarah serve such an important role here on campus, and the work that they do for our community is amazing. And unfortunately, not a lot of people know who they are, what they do. And so how can we get student leaders to help push this message and help get that information out? And another important point that these student advocates raised were the importance of digital sexual assault. And I sent a photo of myself, an intimate photo, and now it's gotten out there. What can I do? That's something that I know it kind of struck Sarah, and that we all thought was really important, because oftentimes that unfortunately gets swept under the rug. And again, people get embarrassed by it, but just getting the message out there, the importance that these people are here to help us, and what happened to you is not embarrassing. You should not be ashamed by it. If you need help, please get the help that you need. Another thing kind of along those lines are making accommodations. So, hey, I got sexually assaulted and now I'm living in the same hall as my abuser. What can I do? Those types of any situation that you have like that, people are here to help you. So we thought it was important to bring this to Student Senate, because all of us, like President Kaufman said, we serve a very important role here on this campus, and we are here to advocate for our students. We are here to support our students. So our goal with bringing this discussion to Student Senate is, hopefully everyone here recognizes the importance of not only Title IX and this law here in Massachusetts. It's one of very few state laws like this. So we're very lucky to go to college in a state that recognizes how important this is. So not only recognize the importance of that, but help spread the word about Sarah and Lauren and the work that they do here, and help engage other student leaders, other clubs and organizations to recognize the importance of this and put on different trainings and just spread the information really.
The floor remains open for questions or comments if anyone has any ideas or anything else they would like to share. Yes.
Just kind of going off of what both Senator Bronson and Senator Brown have both said, I've done a whole bunch of different training with the admissions team, and we talk about Title IX every year in our retreat. Sarah's a real great resource, as well as Lauren, and as well as Ryan, who's our other confidential reporter on campus. So all three of them are great resources, and there's a whole bunch of different deputy reporters on campus too, in a wide variety of resources, and they're all great people to reach out to, and they are willing to help you out in whatever way they can. And Sarah and Lauren are just awesome resources too. So just if you have questions about anything, you can go and talk to them. They can give you that information that you may need too.
I do want to say something about that some students had mentioned and didn't realize. It's really important for everyone on campus to know. A confidential person, a confidential resource like myself and Ryan Berthiaume, we are not mandated to give out any information. We're here to protect. So if someone comes and talks to us confidentially in that role, we are bound to provide advice. We may encourage, but we are not mandatory reporters. So it's really important for students to know that, because I think, one of the big voices, the big powerful, I would say one of the messages that we saw was that students are oftentimes afraid. They're afraid to talk, or, and then another question is having us in the Center for Health and Wellbeing as confidential resource people. Sarah mentioned, would it be possible, or would you guys think that it might be better to have additional resources on campus because maybe the Center for Health and Wellbeing might be, or public safety may be triggering areas for some people. So one of her questions that she wanted to ask, and she was talking about maybe doing a survey of students is, do you feel comfortable with what's in place right now? Are there ways that we can make it better for you and for the students? And how can we make our ultimate goal of having a campus free of sexual misconduct, and how can we all work together to do that? So I just wanted to let you know, some people don't realize when they go to talk to somebody that there are people here on campus that are bound to keep your secret. So.
All right, the floor still remains open if there are, yeah.
I think going off that too, with the role as an RA, we work really closely with Title IX, and we actually also run that training too. So for RAs, we do get that incident of the Title IX, and it basically, we are mandated reporters. We do have to report this, but this remains for us, it remains us in private, but for them, it remains in confidentiality. So basically, we just have that really well connection with Res Life.
Any other questions or comments? Okay.
I just wanted to ask, has there been any word from the 6-week committee have reached out to you guys or not? I was just generally wondering about that.
So I believe someone has reached out. Mary Schaefer is working with, has been communicating, but I'll check and make sure. Are you okay?
Sure. I might. I asked Sarah, it's funny you say that because I asked Sarah if Allison had reached out to her, and she didn't quite recognize Allison's name, but then I said the Sex Week committee. She said, oh yes, I have heard from them. So, and I reached out to Allison as well. I said, I think Sarah would love to do this with you. I think something like that would go over really well. So definitely have been in touch. And then Sarah said that they have done stuff together for past Sex Weeks.
I will say, if there's anything that we can do to help, please let us know, both you and Sarah, if you need help pushing out surveys, or if you would like to partner for events. I mean, you said student leader-led training helps a lot with things like this. We have 32 student leaders in this room right here, right now. So I think all of them would agree that we all obviously stand against sexual assault and want to help make our campus a better place. So with that, the time has expired, but if there are any other further questions or comments about this, please reach out to Lauren, Senator Brown, Senator Bronson, or Sarah Butterick, and they'll definitely be able to, connect with you all. But yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Next, we will move into visitors' comments. Are there any visitors' comments today? Okay, seeing none, we will move into reports, executive reports, starting with the Finance Committee Chairperson. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I just have one big topic to report on this week, and it's kind of a follow-up from my report from last week. So as you all are aware, the Student Involvement Office was having the club activation forms due last Friday by the end of the day. And in that meeting on last Tuesday, we let all clubs and orgs, as well as senators and visitors, know that any clubs and orgs who have not completed it by that deadline could potentially face issues with their account being frozen. And so now that we have passed that deadline, there are a couple clubs today that we will be freezing the budgets for. So I'm going to go ahead and list what those clubs are and also what those clubs need to do in order to get their budget unfrozen. So for the Artificial Intelligence Association and the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Club, they still have to submit their activation packet, complete the form on Kodiak, and sign up for an open house. The Black Student Union still needs to submit their activation packet and sign up for an open house. WNE Bowling Bears, the cheerleading team, and Golden Voices needs to complete the form on Kodiak and sign up for an open house. CARE, Ski and Snowboard, and United and Mutually Equal need to complete the form on Kodiak. So those initial round of clubs will be frozen following this meeting. And I will also reach out to my contacts within those clubs to let them know that their budget has been frozen and the steps that they need to take in order to get it unfrozen. And additionally, there were other clubs as well who have completed everything except for just the open house. So for these clubs, student involvement is going to be reaching out to them, letting them know that they need to sign up for an open house by Wednesday, end of day, the absolute latest. And then from there, if those clubs still have not signed up for an open house, their budgets will be frozen on Thursday morning. And those clubs are the Actuarial Science Club, ASME, Association for Computer Machinery, Gardening Club, Golden Bear Band, GBTV, Historical Society, Investment Club, Math Club, Pre-Med Society, Rugby, the Writers Forum, and Ultimate Frisbee. So if you are in any of these clubs or know anyone in these clubs, definitely encourage your peers to complete this as soon as possible, so that way they can have their budget back and get up and running for the year. Other than that, in terms of potential business that I will be doing over the next week, earlier today I received the budget for the Business Analytics Club, so I will expect to see that on next week's agenda. Additionally, I'm also working with the Sport Management Association, and I hope to see their budget on next week's agenda. And I have also received the Free Pharmacy Club's budget, so I hope that will be on next week's agenda as well.
Any other finance related? Okay, seeing none. Legislative chairperson had to leave early today, so we're going to skip that report. Campus relations chair.
I have nothing specific to report this week. I've been looking into a couple of, preliminary quotes for some of the ideas that were listed in the 100-day agenda that President Kaufman was touching on. I'm going to be reaching out to the gardening club to see if we can work on getting the pond garden area of the campus revamped a little bit, see if we could partner with them. And yeah, I'm excited to get my committee members and start talking about some projects.
All right, public or any other questions or comments? Yes. Yes, we're not voting on anything else for the rest of the meeting. So if you guys have a class you have to get through, here you go. Public relations.
So as you've seen on the Instagram, I've been working to reactivate it from Okay, good.
You're good.
So I've been working on reactivating the Instagram a lot, posting some reels. I posted the agenda for today, yesterday. That will be a weekly thing. And I'm also working on doing the public safety meet and greet, which has been a tradition throughout the years. So I will get more information on that towards the next meeting, but that is all I have.
All right. Any senators' comments? Okay. Seeing none, I move to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion passes. Yeah. Yeah, we can turn off the light. Sorry.
Sounds good.
My bad.
Yes. Okay. Kim, what for me? Kim, when is the first,